Greetings and welcome to Gnodcast with me, Chris Haslam, and fellow founding member Paddy Shine. We will be talking to members of the band past, present and future and other interesting folk we've met on our journey. To support this Gnodcast and for access to more Gnodness, please sign up to our Patreon at patreon.com/InNodWeTrust or check out our music on Bandcamp. Gnod bless.
Rhys, welcome to the Gnodcast.
All right, Rhys.
Thanks, brother.
Don't worry, it's audio only, so we don't show the video, but you probably know that anyway. But not that you look bad or anything, mate. You just look like you've been playing squash for hours.
Yeah, a bit of fucking pink face. Man out of shape, middle-aged man out of shape.
Yeah, well, we're all going that way. Rhys, we'll start it off by just getting a bit of background on you, man, so our listeners can know who it is we're talking to. So go on, give us a little bit of story about yourself.
Ooh, well, I don't know where to start, really. Yeah, just been knocking about in fucking shitty, noisy bands for too long, and I guess that's where our paths crossed. Yeah, I don't know. I sort of grew up north, not far from you, like up in Cheshire, and spent some time in like Stoke and met a bunch of heads up there, and then yeah, we fucking all just piled down to London and been down here ever since. So we're sort of half northern, half Cockney, yeah. And all a bit kind of confused. and yeah, Welsh blood. So yeah.
When did you move to London? What year was that?
It was about, was it 99, 2000 it probably would have been. Yeah, I was sort of I met a load of mates in Stoke. While I was at uni there, we were sort of just kicking around in bands, you know, not really doing much work and just making music and stuff. And then moved down to London, try and find some work. And then, yeah, some of the guys from Stoke sort of moved down and we just kind of like started bands down here really and started doing this thing called Noisestar Records, which was a little label that me and my mate Tony were doing, and just started putting gigs on and records out just because no other fucker would do it for us. So we just started doing it ourselves.
So did you meet Tony in Stoke? Was he at uni with you? Yeah,
no, he wasn't at uni. Him and his brothers, there's a bunch of them, Tony and PJ and Matt, they were all in, they all had this fucking mad band in Stoke called Reverend Jar, that we used to go and see. And yeah, we were just sort of kids. I was knocking around with or living with two guys that I was in a band with at the time, which is kind of how I ended up there. They were at Keele University. And they were like, "Oh, we're gonna get a house. Like, you should come to uni in Stoke or Keele or whatever, and just come and live with us, and we'll get a fucking band house, like fucking Frank Zappa or something." And yeah, and then we bumped into Tony and PJ and all his lot, and just started kind of like hanging out together and sort of doing gigs and going to see each other's gigs and stuff like that. And then yeah, they all just sort of kind of. I ended up coming down with a bunch of mates and getting a place in London, and they just sort of followed, and me and Tony ended up living together for a bit. And then, yeah, we just met like a bunch of dudes down here that were just sort of in a similar vein. You know, the kind of lot from, there's a bunch of guys from Tunbridge Wells, like Joey Fat and all that kind of crew were all sort of playing at the time, and they were sort of like-minded, and yeah, we just sort of, we ended up just kind of like doing that for fucking ages. And
so you and Tony have been like in cahoots for a long time, because Tony's playing with you now in the Alcoholics too, isn't he?
Yeah, so yeah, he's kind of come in and started playing with us. We sort of we did a band together years ago called the Notorious Hi-Fi Killers. And I think that's when we met you lot. We were sort of knocking about Dropout in Camberwell.
That's right.
And
you guys came up to Manchester and did a show up in Manchester, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we came and hung out at your, what was it? Was it the Gnod Castle?
The Castle of Doom, it was called. Yeah.
Castle of Doom, fucking hell. Yeah.
It really was. It really was the Castle of Doom.
So did we meet you? Did we meet you first at Dropout Studios when we were down doing the recording with Stranger Sun?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think we put Stranger Sons on a couple of times as well. Like the Buffalo Bar in London, in Highbury a couple of times. I don't know if you guys were playing with them. I think you were.
I don't know if I was playing with them at that point. I don't recall any gigs down London with Strangers.